This time, I would like to talk about the restaurant industry in China. The figures for the first half of this year have been released and are attracting a lot of attention. One article's headline states that 1 million restaurants have closed in just 6 months. These figures cover the period from January to June 2024, during which over 1 million establishments shut down. The situation is worse than last year, raising concerns about the future. Of course, behind this lies the worsening of the Chinese economy. Consumers are no longer willing to spend money at fancy restaurants that aren't particularly good. People have become more sensitive to cost performance, and if the quality of the food doesn't match the price, customers will no longer come. This is the current situation. So, what about major cities like Shanghai and Beijing, which are the economic hubs? The situation is the same in both cities. For example, according to the Statistics Bureau, the operating income of certain large-scale restaurants in Beijing was 88.8 million yuan. The restaurant industry in Beijing has taken a major hit, with the profit margin dropping to just 0.37%. It is said that running a restaurant in Beijing is now less profitable than taking on a part-time job, highlighting just how dear the situation has become. When the business environment in China becomes tough, price competition begins. Instead of improving the quality of their dishes or creating unique menus, restaurants try to sell cheaper than their competitors. This leads to a situation where no one can make a profit, and businesses are forced to shut down. Despite a profit margin of only 0.37% in Beijing, some profit is still being made. However, the situation is worse in Shanghai, where the entire restaurant industry recorded an operating loss of 770 million yuan, plunging the sector into full-blown deficits. Why has it come to this? One reason is that rent in Shanghai remains relatively high. Restaurants operating in rented spaces are more likely to fall into the red as sales decline. Therefore, even in economic centers like Shanghai, the restaurant industry faces tough conditions. However, the restaurant business is known for being relatively easy to enter, and this is true in Japan as well. In China, new restaurants continue to open despite the risks. As of June 30, 2024, 134,600 new restaurants had opened, while 1,056,000 had closed. In other words, despite over 1 million restaurants shutting down in the first half of this year, many new establishments are being launched. Objectively speaking, opening a restaurant in China right now is extremely risky. Consumers have become strict about prices and are seeking value that matches the cost. The idea of making a short-term profit no longer works. Restaurant owners must use quality ingredients and offer prices that customers find reasonable, or they will quickly go out of business. Still, many people are entering the market because the barriers to entry have significantly lowered. Restaurant owners who want to quit are eager to sell their fully equipped spaces to others at a discount. Also, property owners, especially those with vacant spaces in shopping malls, are lowering rents to attract tenants. As a result, even with the overall poor economic situation, it has become easier to start a new business. However, even though many new restaurants are opening, success is another matter. Given that consumers are price sensitive and there are no signs of economic improvement, it is hard to imagine many of these new businesses surviving. There is a high chance that even more restaurants will close next year. As the economy weakens, it will not only affect restaurants but also all related industries, such as food suppliers. It can be said that succeeding in the restaurant business in such an environment is extremely difficult.